Hi guys, and welcome back, and welcome to another video where you join me. Well, I'm currently in Austria. Me and Mr. Paul Wallace are going on a road trip. We decided that we just want to go and experience different countries. So yesterday, Paul picked me up from my apartment in London and we headed to the Eurotunnel, where now we are in Austria. Yesterday, we are in Germany, and our final destination of this road trip is the one and only Monaco. I've kindly been insured on this rear wheel steer Audi R8, and so we're going to be sharing the driving. Are you looking forward to this road trip which we've got? Road trips.
It's been a while since we've been on the road together, but I have to say one thing: when we are, it's amazing.
It's banter, it's all sorts, it's incredible.
It's got everything.
What I did today is I put an Instagram post out and I said that we are going to be doing a Q&A. We like a bit of this on a road trip.
I reckon the two most asked questions is, when are you going to become a racing driver again, and is the Murcielago broke? Why are we in this car?
Probably the latter. That's not the reason we're in this car, by the way. Paul is going to be question master. Let's jump in, head on our way to Lake Como.
It's just there.
That is not Lake Como. But before I get in, actually, look at the view of where we are. This is where we are. Never been to Austria before, but it is a lovely place. Anyway, let's go. Here we go. We are driving the rear-wheel drive R8, and we're on our way to Lake Como.
Yes, we are. Lake Como is a beautiful part of Italy, northern Italy, surrounded by mountains, fantastic lake, great hotel, but it's more importantly got a gym there.
It's Mr. Quizmaster.
I'm always quizmaster in everyone's Q&A. I don't know how I do it, but I genuinely am.
Remember the full Q&A to Monaco, and I forgot to read out anyone's name. You've all sent in your questions this morning on Instagram, and there's been, what, 200 comments-ish?
More than 200.
So we're going to try and get through as many as we can, and just answer as many as we can.
Okay.
And see how we get on.
U10.official has asked, will you ever start your own go-kart racing team where you'll be helping the younger generation to achieve their dreams and becoming a professional driver?
Yes, I would love to. That would be the end goal. Yeah, it would be amazing, wouldn't it? To be able to help people, coach them, bring them up through the ranks. Because I did do quite a bit of that in the day. I was coaching drivers in Formula Renault and sort of nurturing them.
Was this whilst you had a racing career, or after you had a racing career you were doing this coaching?
While I had a racing career.
Oh, okay. So a little bit of extra pocket money.
Exactly, because that's when you were racing, the only way you would earn money is by doing instructing every single day. So really? Instructing at racing academies. So yeah, you'd be at sort of Thruxton, Silverstone, all those places. So you know when you get a driving experience.
Yeah.
I was that guy sat next to you.
Okay, wait. Yeah. I actually did one. Were you sat next to me?
Probably. Anyways, but yes, going on from that question, I would love to.
Next question comes from IGD17. I think it's aimed at me actually, because he's asked, has the Murcielago broken yet? So I don't think that's.
Well, that's definitely not aimed at me. Tony heard this, he would be saying yes.
That's because me and you like winding Tony up. So Tony actually called me when I placed a deposit on the Murcielago and said, you haven't done it, have you? Mate, I hope that car's alright. I hope it doesn't break down on you. So me and Archie wind him up all of the time, saying that it's broken. But Tony, cars that are 10 years old, actually, you can get cars that are really well looked after. Yeah. My car's only done 15,000 miles, so even though it's 10 years old, it is spotless.
So no, it hasn't broken.
So no, it hasn't broken. It's absolutely perfect.
But there's a strong possibility that it might.
Yan.jsse, why do you always put a wrap on your car? I think that's a very good question that we can actually delve into a little further than just putting a piece of plastic over our cars.
So I think back in the day I just thought I'd had the A45. It was the first one I did was the A45, and I wrapped it blue. Not the blue camo, I know that was dreadful. But in terms of,
satin blue.
Yeah, the satin blue, and I just thought that it's something a little bit different, and I thought it's a good way to protect the car, but adding a little different dynamic to the channel while doing that. And that is why I wrapped sort of the Lamborghini, because I had the option to satin PPF it. But then I saw the black chrome and I was like, oh, it's just something a little bit different. And I've never done paint protection, because part of me thinks, why not change it up completely?
If you're gonna, basically, paint protection film or PPF is perfect for people that spec their cars from new, because when you buy a car from new, you can choose the colour that you want on the car.
Yeah.
So PPF makes sense because it's just a clear film and it protects the paint. The wrapping side of things is when you buy a car that's second hand, the colour really isn't your first priority. You've got to look at the spec of the car. Has it got all of the right options when it was ordered from new?
Yeah.
Has it got ceramic brakes? Has it got parking sensors? Has it got reversing camera? Where's it got carbon? All of those things actually become more important than the colour of the car.
Yeah.
So actually, the wrapping side of it comes down to, it's just adding a bit of personal flair to the car and protecting the original paint at the same time. Elton Xavier BFC, if you were TGE, would you carry on with your order of the SVJ or keep the SV? I think I like this topic.
You will like this topic because it's a Lamborghini topic.
Well, no, just it's
just controversial.
Controversial, yeah.
So obviously I've spoken a lot with Tom and you, and it's just been a general discussion over recent weeks.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like the SVJ.
Have you seen it in person?
No. But, hear me out.
Link in the description to check out my video, the first impressions of the SVJ.
That would be there now, because if it doesn't, then I'll be in trouble. Okay, so first opinions is, okay, the looks of it, it just looks a little bit too much. Josh Webster actually summed it up. He said it looks like it's been through Halfords, it's like his M4. It's just a bit busy, and I feel there's been so much hype around it. If they had limited numbers and they were super, super rare, there's going to be a lot of cars, isn't there? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I just feel that it's not as special as people first thought. There was a lot of hype, and obviously it's a quick car. But part of me thinks, and I've said this too, Tom, is that keeping the SV in 2 or 3 years' time, let's say you still had an SV, that is more special than the SVJ. If Lamborghini go and build hundreds and hundreds of, obviously, SVJs, which they're going to do, like they did with the Performante, they could absolutely blow out the Aventador market in one go, and it's not special anymore.
We've deviated away from the point.
Anyway, okay, what should he do then?
I think long term, I think he'll do better holding on to the SV if he keeps the miles down. If he's thinking about an investment, because people do buy cars for an investment, I think if you can keep the miles down on the SV, I think keep it, because I think in the long run it will do better.
Yeah.
But if he wants something new to squirt around in and get rid of it before his A12 comes or something like that, then get into the SVJ, enjoy it, and then
get out.
Robbie_Turbo, was the backlash from the vandalised car video, the spray paint one,
I don't worry, I won't forget,
the trigger for you making much better videos?
Yes. Basically, yes. That whole thing was a shambles, don't get me wrong, and I'm well aware of that, but we were talking a little bit earlier about Goodwood and things like that, and I felt that maybe the content, I think I probably at that time panicked, and I just thought so many people are making the same sort of content, I want to do something crazy. Obviously, after seeing the backlash, after seeing how annoyed everyone was, it made me sort of take a massive back step and sort of have a rethink of where I want to go. And obviously, being coming from the racing background, and I just realised that I need to make good stuff. I
can even see a difference in you even when I speak to you, whether it be online or just on WhatsApp, because before you were almost in a routine.
Yeah.
And you were like just going out making a quick video in London, and it was easy for you. It was almost on your lap.
But it was too easy. I got caught up in it.
Yeah, and then you realise actually I want to try and differentiate myself because I'm making very similar content all of the time. But now when I speak to you after that moment, it's mad how passionate you are about the content that you're making, because like you're sending me all of these video clips and stuff that you've done that day that is actually, I can see, is what you really wanted to be doing. This is your world, where my world is like the London supercars and experiencing these cars. And exhausts. Don't get me started. But
yes, exactly.
We've all got our own niche. there are events that obviously we're going to cross over at, and we do our best at trying to create different angles and different experiences which differentiates our content. So for you, the racing stuff, it's perfect. Kyle McQueen X has asked, what's the best memory you have together?
Do you know one or not?
Did you just laugh? Because I think I know what you're going to talk about.
What's this? Are we allowed to say that or not?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
There's no video of it. No one knows this for reasons at the time we couldn't put it online. This is so
let me explain a little bit how it. So when Paul, Sam, Tim, James, Seb, they were all getting their racing license. I was the guy. I didn't have a YouTube channel at this time, and I was a driving instructor, the man giving you your test, basically, the guy coaching you before your test.
Yeah.
Paul had just passed his test.
Where you're skipping a lot. Talk about the Lotus again.
Okay, so he went out in a Lotus.
It's a full race car.
Full race car. So
Yeah.
I took them out in a full race car. I drove them around.
What were the weather conditions like?
Damn, but we're not at that point. We're not that
Horrendous.
Point. We're not. No, you can shut up. They were not horrendous.
If it was on the Top Gear test track, they would have called it greasy and wet.
Okay, fine. You can have that
in a full race car.
Okay, you can. Okay. So we were out, and you'd done that, and then you went and passed your racing license, and then we were. Someone said, "Go on, mate, go out again."
I was like, nah.
Yeah, you were like, "I don't want to do it."
I don't want to go.
And I didn't want to go because I'd had enough at that point, because I'd be sat next to you all day. And then we went out, and then it all went horribly wrong.
I was the first one to complete my race license. The other guys were still out there. I'd been goaded into going back out after 2 days of intense race driving. And unfortunately...
Unfortunately, you broke my back, you idiot!
I lost the back end of the car and spun it into a barrier. I was fine. You weren't.
We hit the barrier needed repairing, which is one thing.
The session did get red flagged.
Yeah, which is normal. Please, we're just repairing the barrier at turn 4. But I was fine at the time, and I got out of the car afterwards, and I was fine. Then I went driving home. I felt like really weird and concussed, and then I woke up the next day, had to go to hospital, couldn't move, and they said, yeah, you fractured your back.
Yeah.
And we have made our destination. We have just reached Lake Como, which is very, very cool. So I hope all of those questions were interesting.
The viewers didn't see is the amount of times that your memory card ran out and your battery ran out.
Classic YouTuber.
You're the worst YouTuber.
The R8 is looking very, very cool. We're in some incredible hotel, which Paul has booked, which has a gym. We're going to go and work out the biceps and the triceps and the... I might miss leg day.
You can never miss leg day, mate.
The view, the lake, we're in such a stunning location. We are knackered. We've been on the road for sort of 6 or 7 hours, and it's
longer than that.
How long then?
12 hours.
All right, 12 hours.
11 hours.
Okay, 11 hours. There's a lot more content which is going to be coming up this week. Make sure you also check out Mr. Wallace's channel as well. And
you know what? We're actually doing very different videos on this road trip.
yeah, I know.
We're both in the same car, but we're actually producing very different.
Can't
videos.
sit on your car, get in trouble.
Why not?
Anyway,
First, it's not mine. Second, it's wrapped.
I'll leave that video there. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Where else are you going to leave the video? I'm going to leave this video here for you.
I'll see you all very soon.